I was listening on the radio and I only caught the tail end of it last night. I don't even know who this guy was, but he was concerned there'd be a lot of mortgagee sales next year. 60% of people will be coming off the 2 point something interest rate and going up to 6%. So I just double checked our database and we've only got 15% that need refixing next year. So we've obviously been very busy with the refixes. And when we have refixed, what if somebody, look, on paper they can afford the loan, but it just means they're going to be living in hardship. They can service the debt, but they just can't afford to live day to day really and enjoy anything. So if somebody wants to go on interest only, or let's say they've got 23 years left on the loan, can they increase their loan term or go on to interest only? And if they can, what's that process look like?
And this is a discussion we've had quite a lot. I had some clients just recently who came off a low rate and moved on to a higher one. And simply said that they didn't want to make those repayments at a higher level, so they would prefer to just change to interest only for a few years. That's not a process the banks can accept as just saying you don't want to make your repayments. So essentially, the bank always needs to make sure you're in a position to repay your loans, and that is based on current interest rates. So there's a number of reasons we can apply for someone to change to interest only. However, just the fact that you don't want to make those repayments is not one of them. That would fall into a hardship process and something the banks work directly with clients, to actually take someone through when you're in real hardship. And before you get there, we want to catch up and talk through all the options that are available. Is there another solution? And certainly reviewing budget and spending habits and finding ways to live within your means is really important. And having that discussion first before we jump into trying to find a way around repaying the bank.
Yeah, because and I guess that came out when anybody could have hardship during COVID, and a lot of people took advantage of it, whether they need it or not. Not when they discussed it with us, because we did highlight that interest component of those 6 months will be added onto your loan, and you'll be paying interest on that component for the next 30 years. In essence, your loan repayments increase. And likewise, if somebody has interest only for a year or two, they're going to have to pay that back over the loan term. So the repayments are going to increase. So it isn't necessarily always the right thing to do. Avoid going into interest only at all cost, I think is what we try and advise. I've found myself, banks have been a little bit more open to it. I think just because they realise people's cost of living is going through the roof, but it is case by case, we're finding, aren't we, with the banks. Even if it's services, they're not obligated to give you that interest only. It's a case by case.